Hi everyone, Matt at the Koi Place here. So for next year, 2026, we're doing the new Midi filter. So we've got the mini filter and we've got the big Japanese style filter. Mini filter does up to 1,000 gallons and the big one does up to 4,500 gallons. So we've got a big gap in between where we can slot another filter in, so you don't necessarily have to go to that big filter. So I'll show you today on how we go about making that filter. So first of all, we've got the components. So we've got plenty of components in stock. So these are all bases, sides, ends, baffles. We've got push box frames being made up as well. They're our mini ones. So we need to make up some more mini filters. So first thing to do is we select our pieces that we need to make up the Midi. These are the ends, and what we do, as you can see, we've just chamfered a 45-degree on using the router. And what that means is we can fit a triple weld onto there, so very little chance of anything leaking. So you can see there, chamfered on. So decent 45-degree angle on there. That's the base. So that's chamfered all the way around. And let's grab one of these. I'll put one of these on. A bit more. So that will sit there, like that. And as you can see, if I pull that forward, we can get 3 welds in there. Makes it really strong. You'll notice that on a lot of the drum filters that are made in the polypropylene, they'll have a single weld internal and a single weld external, but we like to do the single weld internal and we'll do a triple weld external. It just makes it bomb proof. And we use the black polypropylene, which you don't see many others using that. I don't know why, because the beige, which is like the beige ones where a lot of the drum filters are made out of the beige, it's not that UV stable. What makes the black UV stable is during production, to get the colour, they add carbon black, which makes it more UV stable. So that's one of the reasons why we use the black polypropylene. If you've got that filter outside in the sunlight, chances are this will never fade, but your beige will degrade over time. Right, so what we'll do now, we've got all the components. We've got the baffle that goes in the middle of the box to separate your mechanical from your biological, and also strengthens the box in the centre, so we don't have to put a frame around the exterior of the box. We can brace it from the centre. We have a couple of little spacers here. They lift up the cartridge. They're 30mm, so they'll sit like that, lift the cartridge off the base. I don't want the cartridge sat on the base of the unit, so to aid cleaning, when you open your valve up, your waste valve, all that water will rush out and your cartridge isn't sat in that muck that happens to have gone through anything. So you've got a lot of dead biofilm that's shearing off. So it's that sludgy layer. Every time you clean our filters, you can get them back to looking brand new. These are the strips, so these will be placed in, and that'll separate one brush box from the next. I'll show you on these small ones. So on the small ones, you've got the little strip in there, and on the bigger ones, we put one in to separate the brushes. Also, you've got the strip there to hold the cartridge in place. Anyway, we'll get these welded up and I'll show you the box as we finish it. There you go, all welded up. we've left all the tape on, so what I'll do is, as I weld this up, I'll just peel it back, and while we mess about doing all the other stuff, at least I've got it to stop from scratching. I mean, not that it matters, it'll be out in your garden anyway, but it's a nice glossy finish on it. So if you did want it on show, well, there you go. Next thing to do, I'll just show you the inside. So single weld all the way down, and then you can see here, see that's 3 welds, so that's why we just get that. That's 1 weld there and 2 on the outside. What we do next is we've got to drill the holes in. So water level is about 55 centimetres, about there. About there in the pond. And depending if this is going to be a gravity fed or pump fed system, we'll change the inlets and the outlet. So this will be a pump fed model, and we'll put a 2-inch inlet on, and we'll drill for a 2-inch waste. On the opposite side, we will drill a 90mm 3-inch outlet there, and then there'll be a box on the end, so similar to these mini ones. So we'll weld on a box on this side, and that will the water will pass through. There'll be a standpipe in there which sets the water height to around 55 centimetres in the filter for pump fed system, and it'll go down the bottom, 4-inch to 3-inch connector on the bottom, a 4-inch to 2-inch, depending how much water flow. There you go. So we'll get those drilled out. We'll also we've got our strips to put in. So we'll set our distances up. These strips will go in, and that'll separate your brush boxes. Makes them easier to slide in and out. Well, let's get these welded in. So we use there's our welder. We've got a couple of welders. That's our mini one, which we use on this filter because we bring that first strip so close to here that to try and get that welding down here is quite tight. So our other welder's a bit difficult to get in there. Well, let's get cracking with this. So we bring the unit up here. Now it's all finished. And what we do is we put some end caps on. So we've got the end cap. Put that on there, screw that down. We've got one on there ready to go. We've got the 4 to 2, which will stay on there to go to its new home. And we've just put an end cap on the end of that, and that will hold the water. So we like to bring the unit back in here just to pressure test it. So we'll fill this up with water from the ponds. It's the easiest place to pressure test it. I can put it on the blue bowl upside down, and I can check all the welds. So we can check all the welds are all perfect, especially the end box here. But we'll check all that, and once that's done, we can put the brush boxes in, put the cartridge in, ready to go to its new home. There we go, quickly filled it up. Just use the bucket. Just use the old bucket there. Didn't take long to fill it up. So I've checked all the welds, nothing leaking down here, nothing leaking on the bottom ones, or across here, or across here, or across there. Holds about 40 gallons. The bigger one, the one that we use on our system, that holds about 50 gallons. So this one, 40 gallons. Even caught a spider. Look at that. Right. So what I'll do now I know that's all perfect, ready to go, I'll just undo that and let the water out and try and not get wet. Here we go. Let the water out. Really empty. They empty pretty fast, these. That's on we have a 2-inch inlet, 2-inch outlet, 2-inch waste rather, sorry. So this is the Midi unit, obviously, which holds the same cartridges that the big one has. So we have we'll put 2 brushes in, and we'll put one of these skinny 10mm compressed Japanese masking cartridge in. So yeah, happy with that. Also got to cut the standpipe down. So the standpipe will sit in there, 3-inch standpipe sits here. See that bit? So it sits into there to set the water level for here. So this is a pump fed unit. So we put the box on for the pump fed units. That's it, more or less empty. That's ready to be picked up by a customer. If you want one of these units, this will do 2,500 gallons of a pond that's lightly stocked. Ideally, I'd say 2,000 gallons of your average size stocked pond, the average stock. There we go. There we go, all done. Got your 2-inch inlet rubber boot, 2-inch waste rubber boot. It comes with a waste ball valve, either 2-inch or 1.5 inch. Completely up to you. We have both in stock. Nice gloss finish. You've got your brush boxes. Brushes are amazing to get all the fines out of the water. You can see from our water how many fish we've got in. And all we've got is the brushes there. And then you've got your 10mm compressed Japanese matting, so that's 10mm. Only got a few cartridges of these left now, and then we'll be switching to the 15. So you've got a gap here, you can put airstone in here, airstone in here. Big area to put air in, really mess that water up. Really helps messing the water up, messing the flow of water up, and then as it passes through here, giving the oxygen to all the beneficial bacteria. And we've got a standpipe, so this sets the height for here, so we know the water will run about 1 centimetre above here. So that'll set that to that, and just onto there. And then you've got your 4-inch to 2-inch outlet, so 2-inch pipe or 63mm back to the pond. So you can come out of here, you can go down and back up to about this point here, and then come across. If you're interested in one of these, they're $9.95. We can put a small UV on the side, so if you're on that 1,000 to 1,500 gallon, we can put a 25 watt UV on the side. The unit isn't actually that long to put the bigger UV on. We could put one on, it'd hang out either side, so you could put a 55 on there. What you could also do, if you've say got a drum filter and you just want extra bio, you can take these two out and we can put another cartridge in this slot here, and then you can put a lot more air in here. So you can have 2 cartridges, and we can change this inlet for 4-inch, so 4-inch or 3-inch to your drum filter. And then if you're gravity fed, you don't have to have the box on, or you can have the box on, it's up to you. And then out there to your pump or back to the pond. But you can see that, you know, we use the same filter on here. This is just under 4,000 gallons, all these ponds, and the one filter does all these. So that one filter, so we've got a double 10mm cartridge and a single one as the same as that. And that filter is doing all these ponds. Thanks for watching. If you've got any interest in any of the stuff that we do, any of the filters, just give us a shout. You know, we've got the bigger filter here as well. So that's got your 15mm cartridge in. And we've got the minis as well. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.